You're ready? Tom, are you ready? Okay, good. We will reconvene. Thank you, everyone. We're sorry we were running a couple minutes late, but we just concluded our executive session portion of our meeting this evening. So with that, we are reconvening our open session portion and starting with the Open Public Meetings Act statement. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. And as required under law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided via email and/or fax to the Times, the Ledger, the Public Library, and has been filed with the municipal clerk. This notice was provided prior to the 48 hours required by the Open Public Meetings Act, and the board reserves the right to limit public discussion of personnel items and other matters as defined in the law. With that, we will turn to flag salute. We have student representatives report this evening. Oh, perfect. We'll get started with, you guys, if that's okay? Perfect. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Noam Rios. I'm a peer leader, and I'm also involved in theater and band. And some of the things going on in our school right now, we just had auditions for the spring musical, Once Upon a Mattress, and we are beginning production on that. And the show dates are mid-March, but we're still deciding on that. The winter concerts are on the 14th for band and the 16th for choir, so be sure to attend. PSAT scores for all grades just got back, and we recently had the American Math Competition, and we had 13 participants.
Great.
Hi, I'm Sam Bose, and I'm a senior here and a part of peer leadership, and I also play soccer. So basketball, winter track, and wrestling is now underway for the winter sports. And as the holidays get closer, many LHS clubs will be raising money to provide meals for families in need. And in addition, we are also bringing back turning our classroom doors into festive decorations. And we just finished our third meeting of peer leadership. And in addition, we are now helping out sophomores and juniors, and it has been going really well.
Hello, my name is Olivia Whitaker. I am a peer leader. I played on the girls soccer team. I'm also the social media representative for Operation Smile. A little more about Operation Smile. We are selling candygrams in I think 2 weeks. Just to raise money for our organization. And then we are also, at our next meeting, going to make Christmas cards for children in hospitals. So the swim team yesterday actually just had a meet that they won against Princeton. A lot of other sports are getting underway as well. Green Action Team had a meeting yesterday, as well as like a lot of other clubs did, but Green Action Team had a special guest that talked to them about sustainable presence, which was really interesting. I'm also a part of the yearbook, which we just recently had retakes for, and a lot of the pages are getting underway, so really successful. Our Spirit Week is also next week. Monday is flannels, Tuesday is sports jerseys, Wednesdays are like colors for different grades, Thursday is gaudy sweaters, and Friday is red and white, and then some other things just specifically about seniors. A lot of them are starting to commit to schools, which is really awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.
Yeah. Great. So we appreciate you're more than welcome to hang out, but by the same token, we've had a long day, so.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But thank you very much. That we will turn to recognitions and acknowledgements.
Good evening. I want to commend our students, our staff, our administrators, and the Lawrence Township Police Department for their quick response and efforts to ensure our students, our schools, remain a safe place. Their action, their response, the relationships of trust that were formed, working together in collaboration, and the efforts of many kept our students and our staff safe today. Around 8:15, we were informed that a student might be in possession of a weapon in our school. Working with our school resource officer, we immediately located the student in question, put the school into lockdown, and conducted a search and confirmed that the student was in possession of a gun, which was loaded. He turned it over without incident. We continued to work with the Lawrence Township Police Department and the prosecutor's office to determine next steps. It was determined that there was no imminent threat, and by 9:15, we moved into a shelter in place, which allowed our students to remain in their first period classes. Working with the police department and the prosecutor's office, and out of an abundance of caution, we decided to search the building, including all the students' backpacks. The K-9 unit was brought in to help us with this search. The search concluded around 11 a.m. this morning, and the building was cleared, and the students were permitted to continue with the rest of their day. After a lot of thought, we decided it was best not to close the school, as that we felt that many students in our high school, the high school was the best place for them to be. We had counseling available. Many counselors came in from the other schools too. To anyone needed, we had counseling, and we wanted to be able to have our students be here to talk to somebody. We also had lunch ready for them and a skilled staff who could continue to watch them throughout the day and keep an eye on them, and to provide, more than anything, some normalcy. Our administrative team and I walked the hallways. We went to the lunchroom, we went to the cafeterias, we went into classrooms, and we saw our students. We saw them being kids and happy to be here in school with their friends. The safety and security of our students and staff will always be our top priority. Weapons of any kind will not be permitted on school property. Any student caught with a weapon will be referred to the police and punished accordingly. And per our board policy, a student with a weapon will be expelled from our schools. As one may expect, we received a few emails requesting metal detectors at our doors. We've explored that possibility in the past. And frankly, it often gives a sense of false security. And the way a school is designed, I am not sure it keeps us safe. It doesn't seem to work in a school setting. Today, I know that a metal detector would not have made a difference. And in my opinion, it probably would have made the situation worse. It's relationships that matter and make a difference. It's folks saying something and doing something when something isn't right. And that's what kept us safe today. And that's why I'm extremely, extremely proud of our staff and our students, and why the outcome today was so positive. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you. On a completely different note, tonight is one of our board members' last meeting, Joyce Scott, and she's going to be missed. I don't know what else to say. I value her expertise, her friendship, the time that she puts into our board. She's truly a proponent of our schools and our school community. I feel that she made me a better superintendent and feel fortunate to have crossed paths with her, and I know that we'll stay in touch. So thank you, Joyce, and thank you for all your work that you've done for us.
Love you, Joyce.
Good. Thank you.
And then finally, the last recognition, we have the Ed Foundation here tonight with a check. It is not for Joyce, but it is for our students and our schools. And I would ask Karen to come up and give that to our schools as a recognition and acknowledgement.
I think Joyce could spend it, though.
Thank you, darling.
Another check? Oh, thank you so much.
The big check is exciting, but that's really worthless now. It's the actual check that you want. Bessie, I thought you were coming up. Not coming up? Okay. My board president is also here. All right, so I'm here tonight, as shifting gears completely. As all of you know, LTPS has been working on its equity goals since 2017. However, in order to be successful in this initiative, the entire LTPS community must join together in learning and growing through reading, exploring, and most importantly, engaging in conversation. In order to attain true educational equity, we must be prepared to talk about issues of race, and these conversations must include the greater Lawrence Township community. With equity in education work, it is important to be transparent with all stakeholders, including the community. This transparency is achieved through continual communication and open dialogue. A vital step is to engage in conversation with LTPS parents, family members, and not just the students in the district. Recognizing this need, during the spring of 2021, the district conducted a presentation with a community led by professional consultants that have been working with the district for many years. While this was a successful event, it was evident from community feedback that LTPS needs to run additional community conversations. Consequently, in collaboration with Dr. Zuckerman, I wrote and submitted a grant proposal to Church and Dwight last spring for funds to increase community engagement and understanding of our equity work being done in the district. I am proud to be here tonight to present this grant, thanks to Church and Dwight, for $10,000. Specifically, this grant will fund at least 3 additional community conversations done in conjunction with professional consultants and district personnel. I will end with this. The National Equity Project states, equity work is best done in community, learning in public, holding ourselves and each other accountable, trying new approaches, and working through complex challenges collectively. Together we can reimagine and create equitable systems and structures that challenge and disrupt the status quo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, LTPS.
Yes.
And don't forget your check.
And as always, thank you to the Ed Foundation for supporting our schools and our students. The work that you do make us better and make it so we can offer so much to our students, so thank you. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. And on behalf of the board, we just echo your comments, Ross, as well, and extend the board's appreciation to you and certainly Tom and the entire administrative team and the police department as well for today's events and importantly, our students and our community. So thank you. With that, we will turn to our regular business items. We have the adoption of the minutes from our executive and regular session meeting of November 10th. If there are no changes or amendments, if somebody would like to move those.
So moved.
And with a motion and a second, Tom, whenever you're ready.
Who was that second, please?
Joyce? Yes.
Joyce.
Ms. Scott?
Okay.
She's got to
Ms.
get
Pope.
all of her motions in seconds this evening.
Choices.
All right, Ms. Bose,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer,
Yes.
Mrs. Groger,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. Superintendent's report.
We have been working for the last few months as our administrative team with consultants regarding our strategic plan, and we're truly at the beginning stages of that plan. We went and sent a survey to our entire community and got great feedback, and also our staff. There is a Zoom event scheduled for next Wednesday night where we have about 90 parents signed up to really give feedback and help shape our plan. If you didn't sign up for that event, that's okay. We plan on having many more events come the new year, including some smaller in-person where we go out to different community events and get some feedback because we really want input from everyone. We plan to go to PTO meetings and really try to get feedback as we shape where we want to head for the next 3 to 5 years. So your feedback is welcomed and important, and I'm really excited for that meeting to really start the next phases of our plan. I'm also really pleased tonight to share that all 4 of our elementary schools received a grant award from NJPSA, from FEMA, from the Princeton Area Foundation, and it's one that they all applied for and were accepted for, and it's called the Healing Centered Engagement Project. And it's really a project to come work with our staff in the area of staff mental health and student mental health and trauma-informed practices. So through the project, we will get, and there's no charge for this, free professional development and coaching and training for our school staff and faculty, with the goal of developing a multi-year healing-centered engagement whole school action plan. The plan will focus on the design of HCE vision for our school climate and culture, and also those important relationships with students, families, and community, and really look at our policies to make sure that we strengthen that. So I'm excited for that. Congratulations to our 2 of our elementary principals here, but thank you for taking the time to write that grant. It's exciting things to bring to our school, and really I think will help us in the area of mental health and grow. And lastly, and I know I said this last board meeting, and I made a plea, but I respectfully once again ask our parents and our community to be mindful about what they post on social media. There's so much information, things being posted, often untrue, that are really tearing down our efforts rather than building us up. And again, as I said last meeting, once they're up, they never go away. I had colleagues and people and my parents call me today saying, I can't believe what I'm hearing about the Lawrence schools. It was really a perfect example today of incorrect details, nasty comments, hysteria caused by Facebook posts. It really, from my point of view, made it so much more challenging to keep our students and our staff safe. Again, it should not be used as a tool to cause damage and harm. Please stop using it as such. We should be celebrating. There was so much that went right today. There was so much that kept our students and our staff safe. There were so many heroes today. That's what we should be posting. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Secretary's report. Yep, thank you. Tom?
Just a reminder to the board that we've done a great deal of work in the area of safety and security, that we had a referendum, and one of the components of the referendum, in addition to all the HVAC work, but certainly not second to it, was our safety initiatives. There are about $750,000 worth of contracts on the agenda this evening that are associated with those initiatives. Some work that's already been done, however, is the installation of our security vestibules that we have. We have already done a lot of work on cameras and new systems. We are continuing that tonight with an award that's recommended to the board for, I believe it's $57,000. There's approximately $440,000 of awards recommended to the board tonight to wire our buildings so that every exterior door has the capability of alerting us when it is propped for any given period of time that we decide. We also have on the agenda this evening $175,000 in awards to CDWG for network switches, which will soon be followed by, in the coming months, recommendations for award for more hardware for our PA systems, public address systems, and which are integrated with a clock system. This will allow us to do communications, both pre-programmed communications and unique communications as we determine necessary. We'll be able to control these PA systems remotely. So whether you're here in the district or you're in some other place, you'll be in touch with all of our, or can be in touch with all of our staff members. We also have the ability through our new phone systems to communicate across the district. The teachers will be able to and can already dial out for 911. And so we'll continue to make improvements as we move along. So tonight's agenda has, again, roughly $750,000 on it for awards for safety-oriented things. This is part of our referendum that we're bringing to a close. There are other things that we do also for security, whether that's the initiative a couple of years ago, notably to bring SROs and Class 3 officers into the schools for quick response. That paid off in a big way today, so that we had constant communication from the time something had been identified as in need of being addressed. There was no delay whatsoever, no need to pick up a phone. Our police officers were here. They could do instant communications based on their actual assessments without asking any questions, so they could coordinate the police response. I can't tell you how valuable that was. And we have that in many of our schools. And so there was forward thinking at that point, and that thinking followed right along with the security initiatives. And this board has been supportive, pardon me, of not just those initiatives, but some things that are not as large ticket items, whether that's our, I'm going to call it what it is, the hardening of the buildings so people can't get in through the film that we use on our entrances and our classroom glass and things of that nature. But the most important thing, no matter what, is, I believe what Ross said, is the relationships. And because if we have good relationships and we can learn what we need to prevent anything from happening and intercept that, then we don't need all of those other static type of fixed solutions. We can prevent it from ever occurring. And so those are some of the things that I'm just bringing to you this evening because they happen to be there for award. But in support of what Ross said, it's development of the relationships. I can't tell you how wonderful it is to work for the superintendent and the Board of Education that recognizes those relationships and builds them. Because today, people spoke back and let us know what was the need because they trusted. And the fantastic administration worked and acted on that. And that was years and years of relationship building. That's all I've got for you tonight.
Thank you. With the President's report, I would just echo all of that and again extend our thanks on everything that went right today as a result of all the efforts that have been put in place. And even the things that kind of seem disconnected, but you know, the work with the equity, the character education parts that we've really been working on, not only with our students and our staff and our community at large, that all paid dividends today. So I just extend the board's appreciation and thanks to everybody that had a hand in that today. And speaking of relationships, and kind of to echo even what Ross was saying earlier, this has been a challenging, especially 2 years for this board, and this is our last board meeting for the year. So I just want to extend my appreciation and thanks to all of my fellow board members. Again, you know, this board has been fantastic. We've been confronted with some unprecedented challenges. And this year in particular, we started the year fully remote, you know, essentially at home. And here we are now, kind of still on the return to normalcy, but for the events of today, you know, relatively, lots of excitement. And we heard the student representative reports, and that's really a testament to all of our families, our students, our staff, our administration, and also the board. And so my sincerest appreciation to all of my fellow board members for all of the work that we've put in this year. And I would be remiss if I didn't call out you know, Joyce in particular. It's been, 6 years now, and, it's such a difficult role being up here because the public only gets to see a glimpse of us, and even at a meeting like this, you only really get a chance to hear from me, and as boring and as uneventful as that can be. But that is really not indicative of the amount of work that goes on through all of the times where we're not sitting at the meeting. And Joyce has been an integral part of that. She came on, I guess, 6 years or so ago now, and I gained a colleague at that point, and as she leaves here now 6 years later, I have a friend. And, it has been a tremendous honor to serve with you, to work with you. We've laughed, we've, gritted our teeth, we've rolled up the sleeves. We've had a lot of problem solving, and the public didn't get a chance to see visually the contributions that you've made to the board, but certainly this board, this administration, and I in particular, know the contributions that you made to the district, to our community, and I personally thank you for it. And I'm not going to miss you because I'm not letting you go very far. I still have the phone number, but thank you, Joyce. With that, the last thing I have, unfortunately, with the chapter kind of coming to an end on this board, we have, Tom, we are set for January 5th. We're anticipating, at least at this point, reorganization will be January 5th at 7 p.m. So, and then we'll be ushering in, a whole new year and a new board, and hopefully we'll continue on the positive path that we really embarked on and are achieving this year. With that, we'll move on to our committee reports. Community relations.
Community relations did meet, actually twice since the last meeting. The November meeting was November 11th, just after our last board meeting, and the December meeting happened last week, just before this board meeting. The strategic plan has been the focus of both those meetings, and it will continue to be the focus. Attending each day, Greg Johnson, Patricia Farmer, Joyce Scott, Michelle Bowes, Ross Case, and Linda Mithog, as well as the 2 consultants that we're working with on the strategic plan. On the December 3rd, I attended instead of Michelle Bowes. We are in a gathering information, reviewing data phase. We have our 3 areas of focus that still need a lot of fleshing out: equity, academic achievement, health and wellness. Our 2 consultants have been a tremendous asset in terms of providing structure to the strategic planning process. The monthly meetings are on they have a template for each of our monthly meetings and what needs to be accomplished each month. So I have no doubt that we will end up with a product at the end of the process, and the process will be very timely. Again, on December 3rd, we reviewed survey data that had come in from both parents and staff, and as well as data collected by administrators who are attending monthly faculty meetings. The focus of community relations will be their role in the strategic planning process will be looking at the community conversations, the structure and the process for them, developing strategies to engage the community the best we can. The more input we have, the better the plan. And that's it for those 2 meetings.
Great, thank you. Negotiations update. We have begun our discussions with LAPTA. A couple of our members are here this evening, and again, and I know we've said it before to the public, but this board and district is very, very fortunate with the great relationship. I guess the theme of the evening with the relationships, but the relationships that we have with all of our unions and LAPTA in particular. So we've kicked off those, and hopefully we'll be able to report back that we'll have agreement on that soon, but that process has started, and we'll move forward with that. So, and again, thank you to our LAPTA members who are here. The relationships that we have and the ability to have the discussions and move things forward makes it a real pleasure. I talk to a lot of school board members around the state and know no one is as lucky as we are here with the relationships that we've built with all of our staff members. So that's the negotiations update. Our equity update.
Equity met on the 29th of November. It was Greg Johnson, Joyce, myself, Clifton, and Ross. And I think that Clifton is going to give a little presentation about what we discussed and what we're doing.
Good evening. I will not actually be presenting tonight. I'm going to bring to you two teaching staff members, Eileen Bright and Justin Schleider, who will come to you for the last time as equity warriors. And so, there you go.
Good evening. So I'm happy to report about our name change. Names and words have meaning and create both positive and negative feelings. Many of us have gone by different names throughout our lives and may still do. Think of what names you're called at work, at home, by your elementary school friends. If you're thinking of that name, each of those names, if they are different, represent who you were at that time in your life and in specific settings for different people. So the Equity Warriors name was right for the task that had been given to those teachers at the height of a world pandemic and community outrage over the death of George Floyd and other Americans of color being detained by the police. Student activists created Black in Lawrence, and they shared snippets about educators and their unfair biased treatment while in their classes. The name at the time showed a seriousness that was necessary to get educators to reflect on their classroom practices and academic behaviors. As time has passed and the equity work has begun, the name is now evolving, right? And for the task, the name must evolve for the task that is and not for the task that was. So it was decided that as a group we want to work with our colleagues. And the warrior name seemed at the time was appropriate because we were in a fight, right? Now, we are, as you said, building relationships and strengthening our relationships and working with our colleagues and community members to create spaces that are positive for our most vulnerable population, right, our students. We want to be partners in this work and not adversaries. As I said, warriors, you can't build relationships if you're fighting, right? War does not create that. So suggestions were submitted by the Equity Warriors at the time, and after 2 rounds of electronic voting, a name was chosen, and we selected Equity Champions as the new name. A champion is a person or group who wins. The Equity Champions will be successful in working with others as partners in developing spaces where students feel valued and loved for who they are. And I'm just going to borrow a theme from the Peloton fitness community. Together we go far.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Justin Schleider. I am the health teacher at LIS. So very quickly, I'll give you an overview of what we've been up to and what we have to look forward to. Cliff came up with a compendium of equity work. I don't know what compendium means, but I'm sure it's a fantastic word. So again, we talk about the purpose of equity work. Each student should feel loved and accepted walking into their schools in Lawrence. So we want to create opportunities for mirrors where they see themselves and windows where they have the ability to see into others' lives. That's paramount. To ensure this is our equity work. So right now we've had 3 PDs on the equity work. We have implicit bias. We're talking about attitudes towards peoples or stereotypes that we make without our conscious knowledge. Again, those are the shortcuts we put in our brain in order to make sense of the world. We have microaggressions, which are the everyday subtle, intentional, and oftentimes unintentional interactions or behaviors that communicate some sort of bias towards historically marginalized groups. And then finally, we have one coming up that's going to be growth versus fixed mindset. And I know that's an ongoing thing in the district where we're developing a growth mindset which allows us to work towards our potentials. A fixed mindset hinders us when we struggle in an area. And we really want teachers that recognize that their children's academic potential is limitless and often will look for more ways to reach students and help them succeed. So we have a K-6 social justice curriculum, which was enacted by Erica. Again, we talk about gender, skin color, socioeconomic difference, multicultural diversity, families, refugees / immigration, women and girl studies, disabilities, bias, and prejudice. Last year, we had a creation of video resources around each month's topic, and we are monthly emailing and detailing the subject and resource tasks. So this year, what we have is a creation of subcommittees. So we're trying to take the work and divvy it up into people's expertise. So we have a document audit, which is currently reviewing the 9th grade health curriculum. We have a community engagement committee, which is working towards developing working relationships with stakeholders. And again, we're hearing that term a lot tonight, relationships. That is the foundation of education. We're updating the websites, creating a transparency of the work we're doing, content creation, which is the topics we'll cover for various stakeholder groups. There's a podcast production, again, going a little deeper into the subject areas and allow teachers and staff to listen to that on their way to work and on the way home. Story development, which is finding people to tell a story around various topics. And then last, PD shorts, which are going to be 2 to 4 minutes explaining various topics in education. And the purpose of the subcommittees is to leverage knowledge, know-how, and commitment of the equity champions. If at any time you have any questions, please reach out to Cliff. It's really important that we have a strong relationship. And if you want to know what compendium is, look that bad boy up and he'll be able to help you.
go by. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much. Guidance and mental health.
Guidance and mental health did not meet yet. We will meet in January.
Thank you. School boards.
Okay. I'm gonna try it on the laptop, so I don't have to worry about pages. New Jersey School Board's Delegate Assembly met on November 20th, 9:30 to 10:45. We discussed the harassment letter that maybe some of you saw from the National School Board Association that was sent out. New Jersey School Boards wanted you to know that they do not support that letter, that they feel everyone has their freedom of speech, and instead we need to be working on civility and helping people to present at local meetings so that we can make changes without a reaction. Workshop that was presented in October has been extended. The deadline now for any of us to view any of the sessions is the 28th of December. So please check into that, especially I think I talked to you before about the keynote speakers. Awesome people, you don't want to miss that. There were no resolutions received for the Delegates Assembly, so instead we focused on policies, reviewed, discussed, voted on, quick meeting. As you can tell by 10:45, usually we're at lunchtime. So that was a good one. Legislative meeting, I'm going to have this Saturday, the 11th, 9 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. So I'll give you updates, which is kind of interesting because it's a lame duck period, so we'll see where that all goes. Mercer County Leadership is going to be the 17th of December. I'm going to be busy. And the next Mercer County meeting will be January 27th at 6:45. We decided to move it a little later till 8:30. And the topic will be on state assessments. So check into that one, please. And LTEF, if you don't mind, I'll jump right into that. Great. It's their 30th anniversary, so please celebrate all they've done for us, and many, many thanks. If you've noticed, social media has been popping with all of the grants that have been happening in the past, showcasing. So take a look. Today there was Dr. Woolley's grant that was popped up there, so it's kind of fun to look back and see how many people have written grants and the fun ways that LTEF has helped us, our district. You saw, I'm sure, Bristol-Myers Squibb's grant for 590 Texas Instrument scientific calculators donated. Many thanks to them for their generosity. Handbag bingo, got to always throw a plug for that. Friday, February 25th, Rider University, 6:30 to 10 p.m. And my goodness, tonight, Church and Dwight,
awesome. Thank you, LTEF, $10,000. We appreciate you. And do you want me to pop on for
Sure.
project graduation?
Sure.
I'll keep going. We met the 6th at 8 o'clock. 18 people attended virtually. Mr. LHS is going to have a title update, kind of like our equity warriors. We're getting into the times and making a difference. We're going to showcase the senior class of 2022, so stay tuned for the new name. They're also going to start a casino night, and tickets will go on sale in January. The event is going to be run by the PTO. Proceeds will be donated to Project Graduation, so stay tuned for that. Upcoming fundraiser, cookie dough, pizza kits, beginning December 9th. I believe that's tomorrow. And please think about corporate donations for anybody that's involved in a corporation for Project Graduation. And I think I'll step back until personnel.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Town Council, is there any update? Seeing none, growth and redevelopment.
Yes, the Growth and Redevelopment Committee did not meet. Our meeting is next week. However, I do have a report concerning an event that took place on November the 11th. There was a groundbreaking for a new home at 82 Alcazar. Will Holly of Holly Nance Group is a developer. It is a 4-bedroom structure that's being built. The importance of this particular project is that Will is an African-American developer, and in Mercer County we have quite a few scattered sites where there's opportunities for builders to build new homes in our communities and to further improve our communities and provide for housing opportunities. In case someone may have missed it, our country is well behind the demand for new housing. In fact, the data indicates that because new housing stock has fallen off, that if we just built new homes for the next 10 years, we wouldn't catch up to the increased housing demand. At the groundbreaking ceremony was Councilman Mike Powers and also the chairman of the Growth and Redevelopment Committee, Andy Frank. It was a wonderful event. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Partnership.
Okay. Partnership did not meet, but we did have the follow-up meeting that was requested by ECV. The Every Child Value Board had requested a meeting with the district, and we did have that meeting on December 2nd, Thursday. Present from the district was Ross Kasem, Kevin Van Heist, Michelle Bowes, Andrew Zuckerman, Clifton Thompson, and Tom Eldridge. We had a very good meeting to discuss the program as well as just some outstanding concerns that existed. And that was pretty much it, so.
Great, thank you. VOTEC. Thank you. Special education.
Special education did not meet.
Review of communications.
There were none.
So we'll turn to our first opportunity for public input. We would just ask that you come up and to the podium, state your name, and give us your address, and then kindly ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on to our board discussion and work session items for which
Excuse
we have...
me, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Can I just make a few remarks, if that's okay? Since there is no public comment at this point, I would just like to take a few moments to recognize history of our country that would be very beneficial.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Christmas is a special time of the year for many reasons, primarily because of our Christian faith. Also, New Jersey and our nation place special significance on December 25th because in 1776, General George Washington crossed the Delaware with the Continental Army in the Battle of Trenton to defeat the British. In 2009, I had the honor of visiting the White House and meeting with President Obama's White House staff about increasing contracting opportunities for women and minority-owned law firms. It was at this reception area in the White House that I observed an enormous painting of George Washington on a horse observing the majestic land of America. My thoughts go back to that painting from time to time. And today I want to remind our students, administration, and the community of the tremendous victory General Washington led in the early hours of December 25th. I also want to say that I believe at this time General Washington had a force of about 2,500 men, and within that number was about 50 men of color, black soldiers, who fought with him, who crossed the Delaware in the various boats. And often those 50 men are often forgotten and written out of our history books. This was, I believe, America's first integrated army. As a matter of fact, according to the African American Historical News Journal, February 14th, 1778, the state of Rhode Island had freed approximately 3,000 slaves to fight in the Revolutionary War. And I do have the Historical News Journal, but I want to paraphrase to you that at this time, during the Revolutionary War, the Continental Army was losing not only a lot of battles, but a lot of men, a lot of desertion issues, and the British Army was very well equipped. And matter of fact, they had the strongest army in the world. But at this time, Rhode Island passed a resolution providing for the freedom of the slaves to fight for the Continental Army. And from time to time, we lose sight of how significant this battle was. You see, on December 25th, when we celebrate the reenactment of George Washington's crossing the Delaware, it seems that all Americans, black and white, should celebrate the victorious battle in Trenton. I believe, and the history books should reflect this, that this victory propelled George Washington and the Continental Army to victory over the British Army and the evil King of England. One thing I would say is that some of our students of color in this district really don't believe that our history supports them in the fact that they belong here and that this is the land of opportunity for them. Many times they don't know about the history of this nation. George Washington is a great leader because when he realized that he could not win the war against the British with just white troops, he had to adapt and make a change. He had to put together a strategy that would win the war. And that's why I say America had its first integrated army, because at the time, the British Army was stronger than the U.S. So in reflecting that,
Can we wrap it up?
what I would like to say is that the African American Historical News Journal offers a wealth of history that we often do not hear about the contributions of our African American citizens in this country. And that's why I wanted to reflect that as we approach Christmas, December 25th, I would hope that we have all our citizens that would celebrate George Washington's crossing of the Delaware, because it really started this nation going in the right direction and ultimately winning the war and becoming independent Britain. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Board discussion and work session items, we have none this evening, so we'll move to our next opportunity for public input. Seeing none, we'll move on to our board discussion action items, personnel.
Okay, personnel did meet December 1st, 8:15 to 9:11. In attendance was Ross, Sean, Kevin, Michelle, B, Pepper, and myself. We are currently hiring a nurse, which you'll see in new business we actually did, English teacher, security monitor, social studies teacher at the high school. We're beginning our preliminary staffing and budget meetings with each school. The board continues to collaborate with LAPTA, as you heard today, about their upcoming contract, and CJ Pride Outreach Committee is collecting information on educator preparation programs and certification trends over the past few years to be able to strengthen recruitment plans for our future. And on tonight's agenda report, you will see one retirement, Gene Racine, who I had the pleasure to work with. Gene, and anybody that knows him, is such a kind gentleman. He was a joy to be around, always had a can-do attitude, and I wish him the best in his future plans. And that smile of his, he better keep it in place because it's award-winning. You then will find 3 resignations, appointments for EDPs, staff members due to background clearances, substitutes for assistants, sustainability reps, amendments for stipends for EDPs, approval for Eagles, destinations, and substitutes for those programs, leaves paid and unpaid, extended leave replacements, salary adjustments due to credits earned, appointing leave replacements, approving the 22-23 district calendar. And with that, I'd like to move P1 through P29.
Second.
With a motion and a second, Tom, whenever you're ready.
Ms. Bowes?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes.
Mrs. Groger?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. CIAPD.
CIAPD met on December 7th, yesterday. Present were Andrew Zuckerman, Ross Kasem, Michelle King, Pepper Evans, myself, Tricia Farmer. We discussed the Lawrence Middle School and High School World Language Program and the fact that there is currently a shortage of world language teachers, which is of a concern because it means that our students are limited in learning foreign languages. Currently, they're learning, the opportunities are Spanish, French, Italian, Mandarin, and Latin, just to give you an idea. Also, we discussed the 2021-22 assessment report will be done in January of 2022. We'll discuss that. We discussed a grant that we heard of tonight from Church and Dwight Grant for $10,000, which will go through 3 community meetings to discuss the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Briefly discuss carryover funds from ESSA that be adjusted to the budget, and the return to work, the return to school, plan, which we learned is reviewed every 6 months as mandated by the state of New Jersey. So every 6 months we are reviewing. We also discussed the Every Child Value program and the meeting which occurred on December 2nd with board members from Edwards Crossing, Every Child Value, and the Lawrence LTPS administration. So, and those are the minutes. With that, I'd like to move IS 1 through 7.
Second.
With a motion and a second, Tom, whenever you're ready.
Ms. Bowes?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes.
Ms. Groger?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Finance.
Finance met December 3rd from 8 a.m. to 9:15. Present were Ross Kaysen, Tom Eldridge, and joining me were Amanda Santos, Joanne Grogers sat in for Kevin Van Hise, and sadly Joyce Scott was sitting in her last finance meeting. It's been so wonderful to have her on the committee, and I'll miss her wisdom. Our friendship will continue. Our budget update, we've got personnel costs coming up against cap. We've got a 2% cap and a negotiated 3% increase in salaries. Some of the unknowns are health benefits costs, transportation, energy, and out-of-district tuitions. The Slackwood roof bid has come out. There's a $1 million price tag for the roof, includes the metal roof for the entire building, taking the solar panels off and replacing them, and also replacing the cupola. The security initiatives are door sensors, public address system, clock system, controllers, and cameras. When it's completed, the district security will be state-of-the-art. The Outdoor Classroom Architect Award, the bids went out, and a new architect will get the contract. This is paid for with federal money. And BMS donated the Texas Instruments calculators, about $10,000. And with that, I'd like to move IS 1 through 13.
Second.
Who was that second, please?
Joyce.
Joyce?
Thank you.
Good. With a motion and a second. Tom, whenever you're ready.
Okay, Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes.
Mrs. Grover?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Turn to our last opportunity for public input. Yes, please.
please.
Yes. Welcome.
My name is Samuel Orlando. Been a resident of this wonderful township for the last about 12 years now. There was a moment I wanted to move out of Lawrence, so I have 4 girls in the township schools. So I have 2 in the high school, 1 in the middle school, and the little girl, she's just about turned 12. She's in 6th grade, about to cross over to a 6 and join the team. So the time I wanted to move, I said, it's expensive to get a house in Lawrence. And so I gave many options to my daughters. Said, can we move out of state? They said, no. Can we move to West Windsor? No. Can we move to Princeton? No, I don't. Can we go back out of, PA? No. They said, can we go to Kenya? Originally, I'm from Kenya. This is the time the township allowed me to go back for a year and do a mission. And I don't have 3 minutes, so it's 2.5. So I remember it was 2017, and you are not here, and I remember sitting down with the township leaders and saying, you can't do this, you can't just get them. I said, I want them to feel the mission. I'm from a village, and I've seen myself go to become an accountant, work for the county. My boss is there, and I work for the state. And I wanted to take them to a village life that they've never known. And the township said, it's hard, but I said, okay, if you want to do it, we'll support you. My story is actually Lawrence Township. If you Google it, it's a big story there. I appreciate the township really wrote about it. That is the Lawrence Ledger. Mm-hmm. To finish it, 2016, 2017, there was no way kids not in school is a cool thing. We came back 2018, they did tests, they were really doing well. And you know what happened in when COVID struck, everybody's kids were home, And my kids were very comfortable because they were used to not being at home or school for 1 year. And they were good. My 10th grade was among the best student of the month last month, and most of them are higher honorable in 8th grade. Here's my appreciation for what the township did today. I was at work, and my big daughter, she's a 12th grader, texting me. I follow these things keenly around the country, and I'm also the treasurer for Lawrence Eggers Crossing Civic League, and I live, so I'm coming to my address. I live in the village, 175 Johnson Avenue. So to finish, I'm one of the, am I done? Okay, for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I'm really obedient with time. To finish is, I just want to say that for me, when I heard that something was happening in the school, I talked to my boss, said, just, if there's anything you need to come out. But I said, if they can handle it so that parents do not rush to school, that's the best thing. Most of the time when we give our kids the phone, they say the first person we call is the parent. I say, what am I going to do if I come here? Am I going to help the police? So my prayers were answered today, how it was handled. And I want to say thank you very much to attend this last year meeting. And God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Rick Jones. I'm at 250 Fieldboro Drive. Two daughters, one graduated last year, one that's in 8th grade. I grew up in Lawrence, graduated from Lawrence along with all my siblings. I want to second what the superintendent said about how the incident was handled today. Got to commend everybody that was involved. We don't realize how close we were to duplicating what happened in Michigan last week. But a couple things. I think, I don't read social media, so I don't know what was said on there, if there's anything said about how the incident was handled, but I think it's tough when the first notice of an incident that you get is a phone call from my mother who's been in Lawrence for 60 years, saying that something's going on at the high school. She read something, online. The Lawrence Patch put something out there pretty early on. But I don't know what you guys could do to put people on notice that something's going on without putting people's safety at risk. So the other thing is, with regards to keeping the weapon out of the school to begin with. I don't want metal detectors here. I don't know if that's the right way to go. Would a metal detector have caught that? I don't know either. But I hope we spend some time at least thinking about how to keep that weapon out of the school to begin with, rather than hope that somebody, tattletales on the person that has it. That's kind of all I really had to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to our new business items.
Okay, I have the report for new business. We have an appointment for social studies and special education position, and it's a person who's been on a leave replacement for us all year long, so this is a good placement. We have leave replacements for substitutes, destination, and EDP appointments. You'll also see that we have a new nurse at the high school, and Janelle Jones, who will be the new nurse, is a graduate of Lawrence School, so this is excitement for us to have her come back. And with that, I'd like to move NB1 through NB20.
Second. With a motion and a second, Tom, whenever you're ready.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes.
Mrs. Groger?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And with that, this essentially concludes the last evening, or the last meeting that we'll have this year. So I wish everybody a very happy, healthy holiday.
Mr. President,
And again,
I'm sorry.
my appreciation to Joyce. Oh, okay, good.
Let Joyce make the.
Hi, Mr. President, could I make a remark on this?
No, sure.
Okay. I would be remiss, I too would like to recognize and thank Ms. Scott for her mentorship and her friendship. I've known Joyce a long time, and working with her on committees and the board at large has been a pleasure. Her candid and direct communication I've appreciated and valued and learned so much. And like many others, I too will be reaching out to you. And I thank you so much for all that you have done for the students of Lawrence Township. You are a true treasure. Thank you.
Here, here. We'll reserve a seat right up front for you, Joyce.
I'd just like to say, I would like to thank everybody.
For recognizing me, and I'm not going nowhere. I just have a lot of other things I need to do, but I do thank everybody. I thank the parents, I thank the board members. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Joyce. This is dedication, folks, right here.
So you're not going anywhere. God bless you, my dear.
She's a real cardinal.
Yes.
Absolutely.
True and true.
That's wonderful. And again, Joyce, thank you so much. And you're definitely not going very far. We're definitely relying on you. And you're welcome back at any time. But thank you again for all of your contributions. And then we're going to be seeing you real soon anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
That's when the real tears are going to come out.
Yeah.
But thank you again. And so with that, we'll entertain our last motion of the evening. I'll even give Joyce the honors to make the last motion.
So moved, and happy holidays, safe holidays to everybody.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you so much, all. Thank you.
Gracie.